Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to our Direwolf 20 1.10 modded Minecraft Let's Play series. So, since last episode, you'll probably notice immediately this is Draconic Armor and a Staff of Power. I did do a lot of gearing up. We now have, which I didn't do it on camera because it's the same thing as when we were making the bow. It just takes a while. We have Draconic Armor with all the way up to Draconic upgrades. And I went ahead and put Soulbound. I went crazy with Soulbound. I started Soulbounding stuff. It's really not that hard for us to make at this point. Because if you look right here, Soulbound, all it really requires is an Ender Crystal and 14 levels. And of course this, we've got these automated. So, not really expensive at all. So, I did go really crazy with Soulbound. We have all of our armor Soulbound. Our Staff of Power is Soulbound. Of course, Draconic Bow was already Soulbound. I went ahead and Soulbound our Advanced Rings. Also our Indexer, our Ender Pouch, our Advanced Dislocator, our Staff of Traveling. Sadly, the Wireless Terminal, I couldn't Soulbound it. And I didn't really try with bread. It doesn't really matter if we lose our bread. So I did go through and I Soulbound everything. And I got the Staff of Power. It's fully upgraded to Draconic. All the armor is. It's beautiful. I also made 2 of these Draconic Flux Capacitors. These are basically portable RF storage. It's just an upgrade from the Wyvern Flux Capacitor. Using these things, which we have automated. So, wonderful stuff. It actually really wasn't that expensive to make all this either. The most expensive, of course, was the actual Draconic upgrades, I'd say. Because there was actually quite a few upgrades. Used a lot of nether stars, a whole lot of nether stars, in fact. But a bit of awakened draconium when it came to those. Also, I've done a lot of miscellaneous tasks today. If we look in here, you can see that there is a 3rd turbine. So we now have 3 big reactors turbines. I think 3 is where I'm going to end it, and we'll leave the front here open. So 3 big turbines. I think that looks good. I don't know. I don't know if I want a 4th one, because in probably next episode, I think we're going to be messing with the Draconic Evolution Reactor, is my goal. So, I don't think we really need these, because once we get the Draconic Evolution Reactor, we're going to be pretty well set on power, I think. Also, I made a fun new dimension for you guys. Well, first off, I did make a new dragon dimension. So, just a heads up, it's a little bit different than the one that we used to have. I think... Oh, no. Oops. Warning, critical damage. Okay. That's what happens when you enter a dimension with no power. So, just a heads up. This dimension is... Nope. This dimension builder? Yes, this is my mob one. I went ahead and added levers here so that we can toggle different dimensions on and stuff. But now if we pop through to our dragon dimension, it should have power now. The matter receiver has run out of power. What? Okay, anyways, I don't know what all that noise was about. This is our new dragon dimension. It's using the Outer Lands terrain style stuff. So... if we pop over here, you can actually see the Ender Dragons floating about. There's actually quite a few of them right there. But yeah, so this is our new Ender Dragon dimension, because what happened was they destroyed my matter receiver. Even though I had it put Wand of Protection on it, they still destroyed it. Don't destroy that stuff. Yeah, stay away from that. They destroyed it, and I couldn't get back to it because I didn't make an actual teleport. Now this one I do have a... oh, I didn't make one. Okay, let me add a new one. I could have swore I made a Dragon Dimension teleport. Alright, so now we have one. But anyways, other than that, it's really the same thing. It's just an Outer Worlds thing. So, but we do have a new dimension here. This one actually doesn't have anything in it. This is for future stuff. But this one is our dimensional shard dimlet, and then we have like our little starting dimension that we mined up some stuff in. I left that one running. That's our dragon dimension. And then right here, this is a new dimension that's a lot of fun. I had a bit of fun creating it, in fact. By the way, I haven't infused all of this, but I did infuse our dimension builders. They're all 100% now, and I need to get the rest of the stuff infused, but it's not really that vital, I don't feel like. But anyways, if we teleport over here, it's a lot of fun. Alright, here we go. You can say this is a very, very flat world covered in draconium. I'm going to go ahead actually and turn on my night vision. We're going to say on, and we'll night vision lock it. Okay, so you can see that this is what the world looks like. It is flat with draconium, but you'll also notice that there's slime islands, like really, really low. And the reason is, if you look at the Y level, we're at Y level 128 right now. Also, these are tendrils. I put tendrils in this world, but they don't actually like spawn because they spawn, I want to say it's probably about Y level 100-ish. And so, for the most part, you can't really see the tendrils. They're generally covered with stuff. But for the actual fun part, if we pop over here and drop down right here, haha, you can see that we have a cavern dimension with tendrils. And these tendrils spawn like some ores and stuff, whatever. But for the most part, it is all draconium. All draconium for days. And let me get a... It's honestly, the maintenance cost on this isn't very much. It's like, I think 5,000 or something. So it's actually cheaper. This is water. Really? I was thinking it was, yeah, see, that's not regular water, though. This is that, I can't remember what mod adds it. Is it maybe Biomes of Plenty, I think? But it's that, like, magical, fountain water. I can't think of what it's called. Mystical water or something like that. That gives you regen. I didn't actually put this in here. It just spawned with this stuff. But anyways, this is basically a cavern dimension that is nothing but draconium minus the tendrils. So... I could take the tendrils out, make a new world, but I don't mind them being around here. They kind of break up the monotony of just having draconium, I think. So, if you ever wanted to get lost in draconium, this is the place. And honestly, it actually didn't... It's all ender draconium from the end, because that's honestly the best way to make the dimlet for it, is just get your absorber, go find yourself like a draconium meteor, as you're flying around in the end, and there you go. you've got about enough draconium to make your dimlet then. So, but anyways, I wanted to show you guys this. It's really identical to, to making our dimensional shard dimlet that we did. It's just using draconium. And of course the design's a little bit different, but if we look in here, you can see that the maintenance cost is only 5,162. Whereas our Awaken, or our, that one stuff, Dimensional Shards, 50,000 RF per tick for that. So, luckily I don't need to run that one all the time. But anyways, today, what I want to do is I want to go pretty crazy on some bosses. Because my goal is next episode, I want to start messing with the Draconic Reactor. But if we take a look at Draconic Evolution, and you look at, say, the Draconic Reactor core, this requires a Chaos Shard to craft it. A little bit of Draconium, a little bit of Awakened Draconium, and a Chaos Shard. So we are going to have to get some of those today. For the most part, the rest of this stuff is all very, very cheap to craft. Now this, the Reactor Stabilizer, it does require this Chaotic core, which is another Chaos Shard, and a little bit expensive. That's like one of the only items that we really don't have like massive access to. And also, sadly, there's no real solution with RF tools. I believe you can make a Chaos Dragon dimlet if you so desired, but the Chaos Dragon himself doesn't actually drop the Chaos Shard, so it doesn't really do you any good to create a Chaos Dragon dimlet. And I've never actually tested making one of those. I just know that if you go over here and you look at the Chaos, you can see Draconic Evolution, and there's a mob added there. And I believe that's the Chaos Dragon. So, fairly certain. So, anyways, I do want to fight him today. I also want to fight the Gaia Guardian Mark II, if I'm being perfectly honest. because we've never actually done that in the series, it would actually be really, really easy. If you recall, that's why we were making that, I think that was why we were making the stuff that we were making. I'm terrible today. I don't know what's going on. Iridium. We were going to get the wither protection with that, but we've got Draconic Evolution now. We've got wither protection. Whatever. So, I also got rid of that water breathing ring. I threw it in the index remote, by the way, if you're wondering where that went, because we don't really need it. We have water breathing with Draconic Evolution, so. But anyways, we do have one Terra Steel ingot in here. I don't think we have any Gaia spirits. We do not. So I am going to have to fight the Gaia Guardian Mark 1. Not a problem, because he's going to be super easy. I just figured we'd take him on and kill him while we're at it. Because we're just going to be killing bosses this episode, for the most part. There's the Overkill achievement. Alright. Gotta be semi-careful with this staff, honestly, because the staff insta-breaks like anything. And for those of you that don't know, the Staff of Power is pretty much like the all-purpose tool. It is a combat weapon. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, I don't mind opening this up. Oh, there's not. Okay, I'm going to bump the attack radius to 8. Big speed, yeah, we're going to leave all that stuff on there. But we'll turn the attack AoE up, because he's going to summon ads here in just a second. And this is one of my favorite parts about the Staff of Power on the Guardian of Gaia fight. I can hit one mob and kill all mobs. So, there's that. And honestly, if we go for Chaos upgrades, which honestly, I don't know if I will or not. Not for sure. But if we do go for Chaos upgrades, you can get the radius even higher. Like right now, it's a massive radius, but you can make it even bigger. And it's like, I want to say it bumps it up to like a radius 12, and you end up with like a 25 by 25 by 25 like chunk of damage that you deal. So it is, honestly, it's pretty OP, to say the least. Just like all things Draconic Evo. Very, very OP. And there we go. Easy. So easy. Okay, let me throw all this junk into here. And we got our Gaia Spirit. So let's go get this thing crafted up just really, really quickly. I'll just pop into here. And it's Gaia Spirits around like that. And then, oh yeah, we're going to need a Terra Steel. Alright, so we got our Terra Steel ingot. And we'll just throw that there. And Gaia Spirit ingot. By the way, one thing that I didn't think about, and I'm quite curious about. Can I make a dimension that is made of Terra Steel? Okay, it doesn't look like it. Wouldn't that be awesome if you could just make blocks of Terra Steel as a dimension? That'd be great. Alright, so now that we have our Gaia Spirit ingot, let's at long last take on the Gaia Mk.II. We're pretty much unkillable at this point, minus maybe the Chaos Dragon. The Chaos Dragon could do some damage to us, but there we go. And this one, you can tell, he shoots these things in the air and they shoot at you and try to hit you and deal some damage and stuff. Alright. Oh no! Oops. That was not on purpose, I apologize. Okay, here we go. Now we're going into ad phase. He continues shooting, but like I said, it's not really a whole lot of damage to us, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. Like, honestly, anytime that Draconic Evolution is within a pack, for the most part, there is a couple packs I have seen where Draconic Evolution is fairly balanced into the pack because of just the innate difficulty of things. But generally, anytime that Draconic Evolution is in a pack, you can bet that once you reach that point, you're pretty much OP to everything else in the game. Like, it breaks combat, in a sense, by being just so powerful. Alright, so we got a bunch of items here. Good. Good stuff. Alright, we got Runes of Winter. 2 of those. We got 4 Runes of Summer. We got some Mana Pearls. We got 4 Runes of Wrath. This is all just junk that I don't want. Music Disc. Coal. A Relic Shader Grab Bag. Whatever. We got the Wheel of Corel. If you craft it with a Terra Steel helmet, it adds the following effect. Critical hits apply a Wither effect. So, don't plan on using that in this series, simply due to the fact that we're not really going with Terra Steel in this series, but if we were, that's actually a really nice one. And then we got, what did we have before? 4 Gaia Spirits. So we got like 16 Gaia Spirits. So as you can tell, I mean, it's like double what you get for the standard Gaia. And then in addition, my favorite part of fighting the Gaia Mk.II is you get one of these Dices of Fate. Basically, there's 6 different items that you can get from the die. And if we go ahead and pop those open, we got, one of my favorites. This thing is awesome because it creates these like blades, and then you can right click and have them fire. Now they don't actually destroy terrain, so you don't have to worry about your buildings, and if you're fighting something in the area, that's fine. But one of my favorite items in the game. And you can see that I can kind of spam it. Now it does require mana, so if you look down there, you can see my mana bars going down a little bit anytime that I fire it. But I do think it's probably one of the most unique items like ever. I love it. But it is the Key of the King's Law. Now you can also see that it's it says it's soulbound to Asgard. That means if anybody else was to come across this, killed me or something like that, picked it up, it would actually deal damage to them. Only the owner of the item can have it and actually use it and stuff. But if you've ever gotten, say, the Key of the King's Law, you can't get it again. So, if you open up that die again, you're not going to get anything. So, just a heads up. So, but there is 6 different items that you can get from that. And I don't know if I'm going to worry about getting all of them. I don't know. Because we haven't really done a whole lot of, focus on Britannia. We've done a little bit of Britannia, but I've covered Britannia more in depth in other series and stuff like that, so. Alright, but anyways, Gaia Guardian is done. He's dead, and we win. So, the next thing that I want to do is I want to go fight the Chaos Dragon. That is my primary objective for the day, is to take him on, because I would like to get those Chaos Shards and get ready to maybe make ourselves a reactor, really boost up our power. I mean, right now our power's, we're good on power, realistically. Like, if we pop inside the central control, we take a look here, we're generating about positive 40,000. So, it wouldn't hurt to have additional power, though. And that's because, if we wanted to pop into, say, the dimensional shard dimension. Right now, we can't run that constantly. We're going to be losing power. So, more power never hurts. I like more power. And I may want to make another dimension. I left an extra space because there's a few dimensions that I've thought about making just for the sake of making them. So we may end up making some additional dimensions and stuff. So we shall see. But anyways, I saved us a lot of the trouble. I actually have a Chaos Dragon teleport right here. I flew out, when I went and got that Draconium, I flew out a ways. And we are at negative 9,530. Finding the Chaos Dragon, basically you just have to find some multiple of 10,000. So it can be either 10,000, 10,000, it can be negative 10,000, 20,000, anything like that. But your X and Y or your X and Z coordinates have to be a multiple of 10,000. I mean, they can be 0. So we're going to be going to 0, negative 10,000. But anyways, just a heads up on where to find the actual Chaos Dragon. Alright, I went ahead and put up everything that's not soulbound, which was really just like a bucket that we were packing and our AE terminal. I'm going to hold on to the bread just because, it's nice to have that, right? But anyways, before we go in, there's a couple things I want to mention. First up, the reason that I crafted these Draconic Flux Capacitors is because you can actually take these, you can right-click them, shift right-click, and you can see it says Mode Charge Armor, Charge Held Items, Charge Armor and Held Items. And the Chaos Dragon, whenever he attacks, his attacks, if you're wearing Draconic armor, which honestly, wearing Draconic armor is kind of a necessity. The Chaos Dragon is pretty much, aside from a couple, like, off-the-wall kind of mods, and even then it's really debatable, I think, he's really like the toughest boss in modded Minecraft. So, you pretty much have to be wearing Draconic armor. Now, I will say in 1.7 you could wear the blood armor, you know, the blood magic soulbound, or soul armor, or whatever. I can't think of what it's called right now, but in 1.7 you could wear that. And, you know, as long as your soul network was substantial and everything, you could fight him in that. However, in 1.10, of course, blood magic went through some extreme changes, and that's no longer an option because that armor no longer exists. So really your only option is Draconic armor. Now, don't quote me on that. I mean, I'm sure there's some other ways you could manage it, and, you know, if you're flying fast enough, you're dodging, you know, whatever. But it's pretty much the go-to armor for the Chaos Dragon. I'm sure everybody can agree on that. Now, the Chaos Dragon, whenever he attacks you, it's going to damage the charge in your equipped items. So that's why I bring the Draconic Flux Capacitors with me. Honestly, upgrading them to maximum RF storage, at least available to us. Later on, we'll get Chaos Shards. We can upgrade even higher if we wanted to. But upgrading those really isn't that expensive, and it is very helpful having that extra 640 million RF on you that's available to just instantly charge your equipped items. So I do suggest, if you're going to fight the Chaos Dragon, especially if it's like your first time or your first few times, bringing those Draconic Flux Capacitors is a major, major help. Also, of course, soul binding everything is very, very helpful as well, because if you die, which does tend to happen sometimes with the Chaos Dragon, you know, you don't want to lose all your stuff. Because chances are you're going into the Chaos Dragon with some very expensive items. I would hate to lose any of this armor or these weapons or anything like that. And let's go ahead and open up our GUI. The helmet we're going to leave as is. The chest plate, I'm going to go ahead and bump up our flight speed modifier to 600%. Or 600 times. 600%. That's what I'm trying to say. And the reason being, we move much faster with our flight speed up. And when it comes to fighting the Chaos Dragon, speed and dodging and stuff like that is very crucial to the fight. Inertia cancellation, I'm going to go ahead and turn that on so I can insta-stop. I do like it, especially for this fight, because if I'm flying somewhere, I can just, like, oh, here's a crystal, I can just stop right on it, right? Personally, I like it. That one is a little bit, it just depends. You know, everybody has their preference. Vertical boost, I'm going to go ahead and bump that up to, say, 300%. Or, yeah, 300%. And we're going to leave everything else as is. The Draconic Staff of Power, I am going to set Dig AoE up to a 13 by 13. AoE safe mode off. Dig depth, we'll say 13. And the dig speed multiplier is already at maxed. Okay, attack radius is up. Good. Now, I guess we're good to go. So, we'll go ahead and fly on up. I need to head off in this direction here. There we go. We're getting very, very close to a Chaos Island when you start seeing this. And you can see it on the map. It actually looks really cool, I feel like. But we'll give it a second. It does sometimes take a minute to load in. So, this is the actual Chaos Island. I'm not seeing the Chaos Dragon yet, which is quite bizarre. I don't know if he just hasn't loaded in yet, or... And I will say that clearing off these, this is why the Staff of Power is so nice for this, especially with the AoE mode. So helpful, because you can just, like, clear off these, like, little bars, and it makes fighting this dragon so much easier when you can just fly and shoot. So, that's why... That's one reason I really wanted the Staff of Power for this. This insta-kills them. I'm not seeing the Chaos Dragon, though. Now, I will say that there is a bug that sadly is not that uncommon in my experience, where the Chaos Dragon does not work right. He doesn't spawn or whatever. And I think we may have encountered said bug. You can see how easy this Chaos Dragon fight is, though. when you have a good bow and a good staff of power. I mean, of course there's no Chaos Dragon right now, but we'll find one by the end of the episode, I promise. I may have to actually mine out a ways. Yeah, and I'm not going to be able to actually get this. Ah, okay. Let me fly around and see if I can get him to spawn, maybe. Okay, I guess we're going to fly out to negative, or 10,000, negative 10,000. Because he's not there. So we're just going to go find a new one, basically. Now, it's not to... He may end up coming back later. I know that's happened in the past. Chaos Dragon doesn't show up, and then he ends up showing up down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and... I've got to teleport to that island, or near that island. So I can always teleport back later. But honestly, the only time I ever use inertia stop, or inertia cancellation, or whatever, is during the Chaos Dragon. I do quite like it for that. But okay, now we've got the Chaos Guardian. Wonderful. Now, before we actually start... Yeah, you can see that he likes to fire those things quite a bit. But you can use these pillars as kind of a defense. As long as you get behind the obsidian. It does quite work out. Actually, probably the best bet would be to just fly over it like this. And the main thing I want to do is just get these cleared out right now. Okay, those are all cleared out. Now the fun starts. He's coming after us. I can just fire on these. Now you have to watch out because he does get angry whenever you destroy one. And guess what? We're like insta-destroying him. And I'm going to go ahead and actually turn this on. Now, when you're fighting the Chaos Dragon, you cannot damage him until all these things are dead. Okay, so that's why I'm kind of prioritizing killing these off right now. And honestly, the best thing to do is just fire your bow like a machine gun like this. And good things will happen. And pretty much all of his attacks are seeking attacks, so keep that in mind as well. He doesn't actually have to aim at you. Alright, so now all of his things are dead, so I can actually start fighting him. And you can see that his health actually goes down fairly quickly with this bow. Because I'm sure you can hear it through the microphone. I'm just like basically spamming right click right now. Because this bow, with the velocity set to max and flight speed and all that set to max, you don't really have to charge it. You know, technically it's a weak shot, it's not going to go as far, but it goes plenty far for my needs. So, okay, he is diving down, and he's actually just about dead. You could say, oh, that's his stupid teleport thing. He teleported me like way out. I hope it didn't bug him out. Oh, I swear if he is bugged out, I'm going to be very unhappy. Really? Oh my gosh. So frustrating. Okay, I'm going to fly out to 20,000, negative 10,000. Like, he teleports me outside the battle, and then it's just like, oh, but he bugged out, and now he's gone. Alright, we are going to make Chaos number 3 teleport. And let's try this again. Hopefully, third time's the charm, right? Hopefully it doesn't bug out on us or break. It is taking a little while to generate the world right now. That's just because I've been flying at like full speed. At 600 times flight speed modifier, so... Okay, fingers crossed this works. Let's go ahead and move on in. Here is the actual... There we go. Chaos Dragon fight. And once more, we're going to start by clearing all this junk out. Just before we make him too mad, I'd like to have all this stuff gone so the rest of the fight goes fairly, very, very smoothly. There we go. And now we get to have fun making him mad and destroying all of his little health pillars. I tend to like trying, and at least trying to do the top layer. But if it comes down to it, if you need to dodge or whatever, you know, don't be afraid to break away. Alright, I'm getting swarmed by his things. There we go, and there we go. Okay. Chaos Dragon is ours now. Hopefully he doesn't do those ender shots this time. I'll be a very unhappy camper if he bugs out again on me. And you can honestly say that if you have the draconic stuff at your disposal, I mean, this fight's really not that bad. I know a lot of people have issues with it. I've had issues with it in the past. Okay, he actually just resurrected a pillar. He will do that periodically throughout the fight, so you do have to kind of keep an eye out for those like red beams and just kind of pay attention for them, because if those do come up, it means you're going to need to go take out some pillars. Not a major issue, but there we go. He's dead. And here comes all the lightning, symbolizing that he is dead. Kind of blow that thing up. Alright. So you can actually blow these things up, but I don't know. There's a lot of them. I'm just gonna fly through some of them. Just trying to reduce them so they don't all hit me at once or whatever. Okay, so now that that's done, let's see. There we go. We did get a dragon heart. It used to be in 1.7 you got 2 dragon hearts. Now it's only 1. So, you know, just a heads up on that. If you're waiting for the second one, it's not going to come. And there's all of our XPs. Lots and lots of levels of XP. Like a bunch. We don't really need these, honestly. It's like, what, 200 levels, I think? Yeah. Right at 200 levels. This guy needs to die. Anyways, this is the actual Chaos crystal. So, we're going to go ahead and just actually put a few things up here. And now we're ready to break off our Chaos crystal. So, we'll go ahead and just snag that. There we go. And you can see that something's happening. And pow! We're going to get a bit of a mushroom cloud. You can see the screen's kind of going crazy. It's all shaky and stuff. And here shortly, you do want to try to get away from this at least. Wearing draconic armor, you don't necessarily have to get all the way out of it. I'm going to get close just to show you guys, but basically, there's a big explosion. Bad things happen when the Chaos Crystal is destroyed, because it's kind of like the central nexus of this. And pow. Warning, critical damage. Yeah, you can see that being near that's not really a good idea. I just kind of wanted to show you guys. Honestly. Okay. Do your thing on this stuff here. Alright, the explosion itself is starting to kind of fade away a little bit. And you can see that it'll take the map a second, I think, to update, but you can see that the island itself is gone now. Island has been completely eradicated, and down here, this stuff has all been damaged. So this actually used to be an Ender Island that had spawned underneath the Chaos Island, but you can see there's a huge, just a massive, massive crater where that used to be. So if you take a look there, I mean, it was a massive, massive crater that was formed. But we have 5 Chaos Shards. Now we can use these to make things like the Draconic Reactor Core and the Chaotic Core. That's really the only 2 things that you can make with it. The Chaotic Core, you can use it to do the upgrades that I mentioned. It's like the final tier for all of your armor and stuff. There's also the chaotic fusion crafting injector, the reactor stabilizer as well. And you'll also notice that to craft the draconic reactor core, we are going to need the chaotic fusion crafting injector. Now, luckily, it's only cost 7 different items, so we could get away with just crafting 7 of the crafting injectors. But we are going to have to kill the Chaos Dragon at least one more time in order to make those, because you can see that each of those take a chaotic core and a dragon egg to craft. So a little bit on the expensive side. Then we're also going to need a chaotic core for the reactor stabilizers. Honestly, I'm probably going to kill the Chaos Dragon another 2 times at least. But anyways, now we are all set to next episode get into the chaotic reactor, which is a lot of fun. I always enjoy setting that up. It's kind of like to me, it's kind of like the high point of most packs, because once you reach that part, I mean, right there, you've killed generally the strongest boss in the pack. You know, so you've got combat down, you've got the tech side of stuff down because it's very, very advanced, and it's also like super power generation. So, so next episode, that's what we're going to get into, is the chaotic reactor. So, fun stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna have to go kill the Chaos Dragon at least a couple more times, you know, to get us ready for all of that. But for today, I think that's going to do it for us. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know it was a little bit more combat and a little bit less building and stuff like that, but you know, that's kind of where we're at. We're kind of wrapping up some loose ends and stuff. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, be sure and hit that like button. And, you know, if you're not subscribed, be sure to keep you up to date when, you know, new videos and stuff like that come out. Once again, I know I've mentioned this before, but this series, it will be ending in the next few episodes. There's like I said, a couple other things, small things that I want to do with it. This series will soon be replaced with FTB Beyond Expert. I know that's not out yet, but it will be coming out. It's slated for early June, last I heard. So that's the current plan. Of course, I didn't jump on the FTB Beyond whenever it came out. I'm kind of just biding my time for the expert mode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, because it's pretty much going to be, I figure, and from what I've seen in the mod pack and everything like that, it's going to be a lot like going through Infinity Evolved once again, and I love that pack, honestly. It's not my favorite pack anymore, because I found Project Ozone 2, thanks to you guys. So thanks again for suggesting that pack to me, you know, a few months back. But yeah, I do still love. I loved Infinity Evolved, and I'm very, very excited for FTB Beyond Expert mode. So, and there's supposed to be a Skyblock version coming out too. I don't know if it's going to come out the same time, so I don't know which one we'll end up doing. I don't know. No clue. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys next time. We'll have a bit of fun next episode with the reactor and everything, I can assure you. So, I don't know why it's loading really slow right now. I think it's because I have something processing, and I think that's why, so I do apologize about that. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, happy Mother's Day. I know it's not today, but tomorrow is Mother's Day, so I will be out tomorrow. So if you message me on Discord or something and I don't answer, that's probably why. I know generally it takes me a little while to get back, you know, because I'm busy doing something or whatever, but tomorrow I will be especially busy. So anyways, hope you guys have a great one, and for all you mothers out there, thank you for everything. Yeah, hope to see you guys next time.